This was a resale transaction. I was approached by a real estate agent a couple of weeks ago about a buyer who I actually helped her. I pre-qualified the buyer last July. They're first-time home buyers, young couple. They weren't interested in buying right at that time. They wanted to hold off, and they wanted to wait until early this year. So sure enough, a couple of weeks ago, I've heard from their agent and them, and they said, we're ready to go. So let me show you, and I tried to kind of keep this kind of in a summary fashion, but give you very pertinent numbers so I could better illustrate what I'm referring to. The list price of the home, $475,000. It's a listing in Indio. What we ended up doing is we're using an FHA loan with a 3.5% down payment because these buyers had not a lot of money for down payment. And even though they're first-time home buyers, by the way, we were using FHA more because of their credit score level and because FHA rates are generally better than conventional. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to use FHA and be able to buy a home with 3.5% down. So don't forget that. Don't think by this presentation and this particular transaction, you have to be a first-time home buyer to get these kind of terms. It happens to be, in this case, the borrowers are, but you don't have to be a first-time home buyer if this kind of approach might be of interest to you. So when I was presented with this transaction to pre-qualify the buyer and given those parameters, what I first was told by the agent is they thought there was some concession likely, and they were going to offer $450 instead of $475. And again, I told them, sure, I'll be happy to issue the pre-qual based on that, the pre-approval. But I asked them to consider another option, and that is get the concession not off the price, but in dollars from the seller. The buyer's agent, ended up getting wind that a seller might actually entertain an offer that was at least $440. So based on that, I'll call it quote unquote intelligence, market intelligence, after talking to the agent and her buyers, we decided to kind of go after it in a bigger way and ask for a credit, not just of $25,000, which would have been the same concession if they just took it off the price, but instead ask for a credit of $28,500. That number wasn't by accident. That's 6% of the list price. And on an FHA loan, even with 3.5% down payment, seller concession up to 6% of the price is allowed. So in this case, the agent, based on what she gathered from talking to the listing agent and so forth, that $440 might be a serious offer that they would consider. They decided to offer $475, but ask for $28,500 in a seller credit, not off the price.